Okay, well, firstly, I'd like to start by thanking you all for coming. It just means so much to us and sufferers of FSHD. As Jamie said, FSHD is very much a part of our lives. My husband, Marcel, and both my son, Mitchell, both suffer from it. Marcel's been fortunate enough to date not to show any symptoms, but that doesn't mean one day they won't appear. Our son, Mitchell, on the other hand, has not been so lucky, being diagnosed with infantile FSHD at the age of 16 months. Unfortunately, they seem to be the most severe cases. Who knew this horrible disease could just pop out of nowhere like it did for Marcel? Both his parents have been tested and they do not have the disease. If it wasn't for Mitch, we wouldn't know that Marcel had it. It was hard to know what to share with you all tonight when it comes to Mitchell. I could talk about him for hours. I could talk about his great personality, his funny sense of humour. He loves playing tricks on us all the time. Or as you've seen from the DVD before, he loves dancing, dress-ups. But I guess I'm not here tonight to tell you about such great times. I'm here to tell you how FSHD has affected our lives, Mitchell's especially. And we know that one day he may not be able to do the things that I've mentioned or the things that you see in the photos behind us. Only a couple of years ago, Mitchell's condition was something that was not that noticeable. I had friends of kids the same age who used to say, he's just like any other little boy. We can't even tell that he has anything. The difference has become very noticeable in such a short couple of years, in the way that he walks, in the way that he talks, just about everything that he does. When Mitchell was diagnosed, we knew so little. We thought a lot of his condition would come later in life, or so we thought. Who knew that at the age of 4, we'd be fitting him for a wheelchair? He'll be 5 soon and has already had so many struggles in life. He's seen more doctors in his short life than I have in mine. He often thinks some of them are his friends because he sees them so often and decides what toys to take for them to play with. I'm going to give you a brief rundown of Mitchell from top to toe, just to give you an idea on what he suffers. His facial muscles are so weak he can't smile. His speech is affected from lack of lip movement. His lips don't seal properly, so when all the kids are at the party blowing the paper whistles, he has a sad little face and wonders why his doesn't work. He can't close his eyes completely, so we can no longer say go to sleep, as he'll just reply, I need to wait for them to sleep. His neck is really weak, which means he can't sit up when laying down, as he doesn't have the strength to lift his own head, which means he can't just pull the sheets over himself at night. He simply can't lift his head to readjust his pillow to get comfortable. Mitchell's shoulder blades has scapular winging, so common with FSHD, and his arms are so weak he can barely lift his own weight off the ground. Floor play can be difficult at times, as it's hard for him to get up off the ground. We often will find him on his stomach yelling, a little help over here. He has toys he can't play with as they are too heavy, only weighing about 1 kilo or so. He cannot lift his arms above the head the way many of us in the room would. He even has trouble scratching his own head, or even feeding himself can be a task. It's hard to get the right angle for the fork or spoon without dropping the food, so he often goes for finger food. He often has a sad little face at concerts when they say clap your hands over your head, or when he goes to soccer and they do certain stretches that he can't do, even things like frog jumps or slithering like a snake. I just tell him it's not important and just do your best. So with his neck and weak upper body, combined with his severe lordosis, which is a curvature of the lower spine, his weakness in the lower limbs, hips, and his foot drop, which he wears a brace for, all of this has a dramatic impact on his balance and the way that he walks. His walking in itself is a struggle, hence the reason for getting the wheelchair soon. His balance has decreased rapidly over the last year. It's not uncommon for Mitchell to fall 20 plus times a day. If he falls, you can often hear him say, I'm okay, I'm not hurt, and picks himself back up. Just the slightest bump in the footpath can send him toppling. But how can you stop a kid from running? This balance affects so many things. He can't balance himself to put his shoes or socks on, or pants of any kind. When playing at the park climbing stairs, he often has 2-year-olds race past him while he's still crawling up them. At play centres, he watches kids on the jumping castles as he dares not to go on. We've heard the term helicopter parents hovering over their child. Well, that is us to a T, not by choice. We need to constantly watch over him at all times while playing to ensure that he's stable and not in any way going to hurt himself. It only takes one bad fall, and who knows? It is like having an 18-month-old in the physical sense, watching them, ready to catch them in need. We've had a hard time this year, Marcel and I, with the wheelchair trials and just getting into our head that he needs one. Took the hospital a little bit of convincing there. Another challenge we faced this year was finding him a mainstream school for next year. We couldn't believe in this day and age there are so many schools that are not accessible for children with disabilities. On school open day, we didn't look at schools for the artwork on the walls, etc. We looked at stairs, sloping playgrounds, ramps. We had to choose a school different to all his mates because the one they were going to couldn't accommodate his needs. After reading Bill's book, I get so worried about what other frustrations and struggles will he need to unnecessarily encounter. We often cry just thinking about the challenges that lay ahead for Mitchell. Will he be able to finish school with his friends? Or will he need to go to a special school? Will the kids make fun of his condition, and to what extent? He won't be able to carry his own school bag on his back. Then we think, when he's older, will he drive a car? He's already told me he wants a convertible BMW. He's got good taste. Will he have mates that will stick by him? Will he find love? Have good memories of his childhood? Will his happy, positive personality he has today remain with him? The future for Mitchell is going to be a tough one. He has so many challenges ahead of him, and all we can do at this stage is make it as easy as possible for him. Imagine being the parents of a young child that has this horrible disease that's taking over their body with no cure to date. The only thing that will change their future is research. Research is the only hope. Mitchell wanted to know where we were going tonight, and I told him we were going to dinner with a bunch of great people. What I really wanted to say to him was that we're going to dinner with a bunch of superheroes, because he would have understood a little bit more. I was thinking this because if he understood, he would see you all as superheroes, because they look out for, care and rescue those in need. And that is what you are doing here tonight, helping raise much needed funds to go towards the research that is going to help Mitchell and many others and give them new hope in life. Thank you so much.